Hi, how you doing? We're back. Now, in the last Project Zomboid video, you watched as Hugh Janus took over the Louisville prison and completed that task through the many adversities that he and Diamond One faced. It was a long journey with a lot of dumbass mistakes and a lot of fire. It was a great time. Now we're here to continue that story and see where Hugh Janus is today. Now you're going to watch as Hugh Janus takes on the task of fortifying this prison, making new friends along the way, and ultimately clearing out a large sector of Louisville. I hope you genuinely enjoy the rest of the video, and if you like the video, please subscribe. That would mean so much to me. Now, in the last video, you watched as I cleared out the prison and began looking for a good place to base inside of it. And although we did search a lot of it and find some good supplies, we did end up finding a good place to base around the south side of the prison in a brick courtyard that was fully built in with one entryway, and it seemed like it was really good for gardening. And I had big plans for this space. You'll see later on, it's pretty crazy. Now, this was right after we cleared the prison, so I hadn't transferred any of the items from the old Icky base to the new Gamer Pro base. Now, this was right after the last video, so I hadn't transferred any of the old base items to the new Cool base. So while we were in Louisville, we actually managed to find a white working van as well as a black sedan. We went to the old Icky base to transfer items to the new Gamer Pro base. Now, whenever we got to the old base, we heard rumors of a fucking wizard in West Point that needed our help and needed to be picked up. So while it was daytime, me and I'm Diamond One headed out to go pick up said wizard, which we hadn't opened up the borders yet to Louisville, so that's exactly what we did. We opened up the borders by moving some of the traffic cones and gates and opening those up, and being able to drive freely through it in the black sedan. That was a smaller vehicle and could fit past some of the debris. Now, upon going down this road, we found basically what is the exact description of a wizard that you would expect it to be. We're talking big ass beard, a wizard looking hat, and probably the strangest looking man I've ever seen in my life. And then whenever we asked what his actual specialties were, he just said that he was a spellcaster and wouldn't really talk about that anymore. That's really the only information he gave us. But you don't really get to decide who you hang out with in a zombie apocalypse. So we took him in because we could use the extra hands for work and drove back to the base. Listen, man, I don't really know. I'm just hoping for a Gandalf and not a Dumbledore with this guy, all right? But now, however, with 3 people, we were able to drive all 3 cars that we had acquired to the new base. The red maroon van, the black sedan, and now the white van that we acquired back in Louisville. So we made it back to the base and began unloading a lot of the equipment that we brought with us. Now, at this point, I already kind of started on the base, but I did not at all have the necessary tools or materials to build what I wanted to build. So we went around to fire stations and began looking for axes that I could use. And we found 2. And there was probably a lot more, but we only went to one of the fire stations in Louisville. With this, I began using the white van to make logging runs to the nearby forest, and made some friends on the way that I had to clear out. Now, my plan for the courtyard was to immediately build stairs, and that's exactly what I did up to get roof access, so that we could see over the city before we actually went into it and on the streets beside us. At this point, the wizard description on the fellow that we picked up is basically gone. He looks more like a felon. I don't know where he got that stuff, but you know what? Good for him, man. He would also occasionally just look at me and say, "I know the fireball spell," and just hold a Molotov in his hand. I really have no idea what he did before the zombie apocalypse, but I don't think I want to know. I spent the next several days working on the base and kind of trying to build a door frame up to the stairwell and also fence in the roof so that we wouldn't fall off of it. I would also go out occasionally and clear out the areas around the prison. That way we could have a sense of comfort leaving the base and feeling like there wasn't an immediate zombie attack outside waiting for us. At this point, I had built the bookcase for all of our books and skills because, you know, knowledge is power in this game. God damn it, if you don't have books, you're shit out of luck. And also, I built the rain collector barrel so that we could start working on a farm using that tainted water to water the crops, because there was already a water fountain inside of the base, so I wasn't extremely worried about getting a water source up for us at this point. Even though it is easy, I just felt like I could put it off for a little while I was watering the plants. However, I was doing this all in the cold while it was raining, so my character actually got a cold and became ill for a couple of days. So I had to kind of slow down and take care of Hugh Janus. Man, that does not sound good. After taking care of myself and making sure I was well fed and kind of resting for a couple of days, I recovered. And I decided to go out of Louisville for a supply run because, quite frankly, it was still overrun and it felt safer to go to somewhere else. So I ended up going to West Point. Now, while I was in West Point, I found another survivor that was getting absolutely overrun by the name of Pablo's, and I offered to give him a ride, and he quickly jumped in and we left. After we got back to the base, I kind of put in some of the supplies I got and then went back out, and Pablo's came with me this time. There was kind of a horde outside of our base, so I had to clear them out with a shotgun, and this acquired a lot of attention. But it was okay, because I have 300 shotgun shells. What are they going to do? Pablo's then found a firefighter outfit that he was quite fond of and wore it for a while. So after clearing that out and giving us a sense of comfort whenever we're leaving the base, I realized there was a gas station nearby, but the power had gone out. And whenever the power goes out in Project Zomboid, you can't really use the gas pumps unless you have a generator. Now, thankfully, we had the generator and we had someone who knew how to use it. So we siphoned some of the gas from our pre-existing cars and we put it in the generator and took it to the gas station. And there was quite the horde there, but we managed to clear them out and get a lot of gas, fill up 5 gas canisters with all the gas we could ever really need. After this, I went on some more logging runs and began building the rest of the base out. But Pablo's had informed me that he was beginning to feel ill, but it was nothing to worry about. And that it was just a cold. But as we kept surviving, it never got better. Eventually realizing that whenever I was in West Point to go get supplies and I found him, he had been bitten and infected before we even met. So as we kept surviving and he kept getting weaker, we eventually agreed that he was going to die. So we spent our final moments together on the roof, smoking cigarettes, as we waited by a campfire while it was raining for him to turn. That way he could turn peacefully and know that he was never going to harm anyone else. So in his final moments, we relaxed together until, well, this happened.
Thanks for taking care of me.
No problem, man.
Later.
Is he dead?
Love
You poor bastard. After this had happened, I kind of felt robbed about what could have been an amazing friendship that was taken from me so quickly due to the zombies. So I did the only right thing to do, and I left the base with 300 shotgun shells to take it out on the zombies and clear them out. That way they wouldn't hurt anyone else. And, well, this is what ensued. I left the base that day, 300 shotgun shells, and was out there for almost an entire day and came back with 0, killing around 600 zombies, clearing out probably almost the entire middle portion of Louisville for our base. Had to make Pablo's proud. Almost dying a few times in the process and absolutely shitting my pants. After all this, I went back to base and built us a courtyard for all of our cars. That way we wouldn't have to worry about just leaving the building. And then I wanted to start on our farm with that rain collector barrel, only to realize that we didn't have any of the tools needed to farm, so we left them at the old base. I went back, grabbed those, and came back and started on our farm. So as it lies now, Hugh Janus has a working base with electricity and a generator and can get gas whenever he wants. And it's built in. And we have a lot of ammunition and food. So he's doing pretty well for himself. Although Pablo's was a pretty sad fucking moment. I'm not gonna lie to you. That was really depressing. I haven't seen the Wizard or I'm Diamond 1 since, but I'm sure we'll run into him later. But now having control over a large portion of Louisville, it gives me a lot of confidence that we can survive for a lot longer. And at this point, Hugh Janus has survived for around 25 days and killed 1,600 zombies. So he's doing pretty goddamn good for himself, and I would say he's kind of a veteran at this point. And I guess we'll have to see what the future holds for him. But other than that, I think that is pretty much up to date on where we're at in Project Zomboid. So I hope that you enjoyed the video, and thank you guys so much for the support in the last couple of videos I posted. And expect another video soon. I got busy this last week, and I'm sorry about that. But always remember to love each other and treat each other kindly. And if you enjoyed the video up until this point, it would mean a lot if you could subscribe for me. Thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your day.